Hi folks, welcome to another edition of Angry TV with me, Angry Britain, off of Twitter, which is here or somewhere. So anyway, as you know by now, I've bought an Abarth 595, and it's bloody brilliant. In fact, it's so bloody brilliant, I've unwittingly bought one of Britain's most stolen cars. I literally had no idea, okay, but I'm now obviously members of forums and things like that, and these things are going missing like every 5 minutes, okay, and that is no word of a lie. I have never known car theft like it, apart from like when I was in my teens. So we're talking like back in the 90s when RS Escorts were going missing and XR2Is were going missing every 5 minutes, and insurance premiums were like £1 billion for something that put out ultimately 120 horsepower, okay. But it's madness. Back then we had to invest in alarms and steering locks and all that kind of stuff, okay, and it kind of died down after a while. But I mean, I remember paying nearly 800 quid for a 205 GTI 1.9, and that was way back in the 90s. So if you do like inflation maths, it's like that was stratospheric, and that was third party firearm theft, because that was all we used to do back then, okay. So it's crazy. I mean, literally every time I look onto a forum, one of these has gone missing, okay. Now I don't live in a dodgy area by any stretch of imagination, okay, but because I'm spending money on this car, I've now become attached to it, and I don't want it to go missing. Now bizarrely, these don't seem to have any factory security, okay. They have an immobiliser that is literally about as much use as a chocolate fire guard from what I can work out. Anyone, you know, Mr. Thief, who is reasonably tech savvy, will overcome one of these, no bother whatsoever, okay. So people are obviously resorting to other methods to keep them safe, okay. Now let's be honest, if a car thief wants to nick a car, he's going to nick it. It doesn't matter what security you've got, they're going to take it, or they're going to try it, and they're going to do damage to your car in taking it. But the fact that you've invested in some security should hopefully be enough to put them off. So I am obviously looking at alarms, and they are quite expensive like they were back in the day. Clifford are still around, Cobra is still around, Viper is still around. Pandora seems to be the one that's kind of go-to at the moment. That gives you a Bluetooth tag that identifies you. It immobilises the car, it's got proximity sensors, and that's really the one that I will go for, and it's going to be booked in fairly soon. But in the interim, I don't want my car going missing. So I've had to invest in some old school security. Let's have a look, shall we? Right, so there are many options. You obviously have the disc lock, which is really well known, covers the whole steering wheel, has a big bar thing here, and stops it in theory being driven away. Okay, now they are defeatable. The one that I've bought is defeatable, but it takes time and it makes a lot of noise while you're doing it. So any thief who is trying to get away with it on the sly isn't going to do that. Now, the disc lock is probably the best one out there, but it's massive, it's heavy, it's annoying, it's bulky, and it's a pain in the arse to put on and off. So I didn't want that one. Oh, and also it's 130 quid. Now you might think that 130 quid is probably a good investment to keep your car safe. You're probably right, but I'm not going to spend 130 quid on a temporary solution. Okay, so I've been out and looked at things that I'm more familiar with, things that my dad's got, things that my neighbours have got, and things that have been around for a long time. So what I've actually bought is one of these, okay. It's a Stoplock Pro Elite. Okay, now this is kind of like the flagship version of this, if you like, but still, if you shop around, I managed to pick this up for 45 quid new. It's got a double galvanised metal block. This is drill proof. Well, that's made of plastic, which is a bit poo. It's drill proof, it's hammer proof, and all that kind of stuff. And obviously this big metal bar here is really substantial. Okay, so the idea is that it slots through the steering wheel and stops the car being driven away. So let's get it on the car and I'll show you how it works. Okay, so you get two keys, you get two of these. There are over 10,000 different types of these, so the chances of a thief having one that matches your lock are fairly small. So it just goes in here like this, and these become loose. Okay, now on most cars, you are supposed to put it between two spokes. Now on the Abarth, the spokes are really thick, so these don't actually do that, and you can't get it where it's supposed to go. The idea being that the more steering wheel you put in between it, or the more obstacles, the more cuts they're going to have to do to get it off. Okay, now thieves do cut your steering wheel off, so that's nice of them, isn't it? I've seen them on the forums cut to pieces to try and get one of these off. Okay, so there are pretty much no lengths a thief will go to if they want your car, but these are a good deterrent. So on the way that I've found the best way to do this on the Abarth is to have your steering wheel centered, slide it up through there like that, and then lock it round this bottom one here. Okay, and it just locks on like that. Okay, now if I was to start the car, okay, start the car, turn the radio down, copyright. Okay, and the steering kick in. So as you can see now, it's banging the gear lock, it's banging the windscreen, and fundamentally there's no way they're driving that down the road unless it's a very, very straight road. Okay, and they're just hopefully not going to bother. So you can kind of see the theory. Sets the horn off. Now that's kind of it. So until I get my Pandora alarm, or whatever alarm I decide I'm going to choose, I might go Clifford actually, because that's what I'm familiar with from the olden days. This will do. This is a temporary solution, okay, but it's quite an effective one. So I just thought I would share that with you as an Abarth owner, just to show you what's around. Now it's quite important as an Abarth owner to note that the Elite is the only one that fits this car due to the size of the boss in the steering wheel. Okay, so I tried the Pulsar one, which comes from Halfords, which is quite cool, so it's got a flashing light. That didn't fix, it was too shallow. I've tried the Elite version of this, or the Pro version of this, and again, because of the shape of this, it wasn't bendy enough. So the Elite is actually one that's kind of like for 4x4s and that kind of thing, but it fits the Abarth, and it fits it brilliantly, I think. So yeah, that's the one you're going to be looking for. Now, it's really sad that I've had to even make this video, because I've owned some really nice cars over the years, and I've got to admit, I've never even really thought about the security of them. I've just kind of locked it up and walked away and trusted that the factory alarm and immobiliser will do the job. But clearly, in these little things, that's not the case, which is really bloody poor, Abarth, isn't it? Do you not think that a high performance car should have an alarm as standard? I don't even think it's on the options list. I mean, that's how stupid it is. Okay, but this is, unfortunately, this is the country we live in, or this is the time we live in. Cars have become more complicated, which means thieves have become more technologically advanced, which means old school stuff like this is now back and making a comeback. And how are you going to hopefully secure your car? So, I mean, even when I get my alarm, I'm still probably going to use this as well if I'm leaving it anywhere dodgy or overnight outside my house, because obviously a multi-layered security, you know, is much better than a single point of failure. So yeah, it's a bit of a depressing video, this, and I've got to be honest, if I'd have known that these go missing every 5 minutes, I might have thought twice about buying one. So it's an unexpected expense, which is really annoying. It's also a pain in the arse that I can't really leave my car anywhere dodgy and not worry about it now. So yes, that's poo. But anyway, if you are looking to secure your Abarth relatively cheaply, this is the way to do it. Okay, Stoplock Elite Pro. So you can pick them up for around about 45 to 50 quid. I've got mine from Halfords. So yeah, no problem there at all. But anyway, I hope you found this video useful. If you're worried about your Abarth and keeping it safe, and yeah, just go out and get one of these, and at least you're doing something until you can afford an alarm, or this might just do you. I mean, I say I don't live in a dodgy area. This should be enough to put people off, if I'm honest. So yeah, there you go. Hope you found this video useful. If you liked it, give it a thumbs up. If you didn't like it, give it a thumbs down. But make sure you keep subscribing, keep liking. There's lots more Abarth content coming. I've got things to install that have arrived in the last couple of days, and yeah, many more videos to come. Thanks again. See you next time.